Good evening, and welcome back to Wine Wednesdays. I am very, very excited tonight because for the first time we are experimenting with food pairings and our fabulous wines. First of all, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this event. We have a very nice crowd tonight, and we gonna try, excuse me, some pairings with butter and creams. Okay, we had Chef Mary that helped us with creating these a few small bites to pair with these four fantastic wines: the Délices de Bourgogne, the Caper Lemon Zest and Parsley butter, the Saint André, and the Cacio and Pepe butter. That would be what we try tonight. Now, let's start with say something about Righteous Imports. Righteous Imports that is hosting this show since October last year, and we have we have spent hours of fun and also educational, for certain degrees, because what we like to do is to share like what we love about what we do, which is importing and distributing excellent wines, at the moment from Italy, soon from France too, and hopefully by the end of the year we will have also our first winery from California. So stay with us because things are getting better and better, okay? Now, before I go ahead and I say anything, I must introduce the boss, which is, she's also my wife, so double boss. I have to be double careful. And Rachel, are you ready? Are you there? And yes, you need to unmute yourself one second.
Myself, here I am.
Okay. And here we go. Yes, all yours.
Hello, hi there, ho there. Am I on? No, it's not working. There
Yes,
we
you are.
go. There I am. Here I am. Hi, I am Rachel from Righteous Imports, the owner and operator, and we are an importer distributor here based in the local area outside of Pittsburgh, but we mostly sell and work with restaurants, but we know how that's been going this past year because of COVID. And so we're branching out. We are doing these Wine Wednesday events and reaching Pittsburghers locally and getting you guys excited and interested in Italian wine. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you in the future. We have so many more events lined up, and we hope to dine with you soon as all of the restaurants, all of these fab places are opening back up again. So, Enzo, take it away.
Perfect. Here I am. I'm back. So, Righteous Imports, as Rachel was saying, is an importer and distributor of Italian wines in Pennsylvania. And we've been around now for like 3 years. We are approaching our anniversary. And it's been just 3 years. It's been a really, really fantastic journey. And I am so happy every day because I managed to share a part of my, background, history, culture, country. Italy is a wonderful place for so many things. So many people obviously hear about how great is this place for food and drinking all the time. And our mission is to actually bring these products to you so that you can taste them and, have a better understanding of why this country is so famous for the quality of the products that, they make, they produce, they grow. Okay, so where do we go first? Let's go over here. Perfect. Pittsburgh. We obviously this whole thing is happening in Pittsburgh. We are in the suburbs. Our offices are in Ambridge, PA, which is north of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is my favorite city in the United States, to be honest with you. But let's move on. Let's speak about tonight. What's happening tonight? Tonight, as we said, for the first time, we pair our wines with food. We're gonna have 4 little bites that we asked a chef to make for this event. And with these 4 bites, we're gonna have 4 fantastic wines. We're gonna have Il Borro, Lamelle Chardonnay, Albino Armani, Sauvignon Blanc. We're gonna have K by Caltern, which is a white blend. And we're gonna close with a fantastic Vermentino, which is from Tuscany, okay? And so let's prepare what we have to do tonight. First of all, just to give you a brief idea of what are we tasting. I should say, actually, who are we tasting tonight? I want to show you, just very briefly, I'm gonna spend across 4 estates, just 5 minutes. So I'm gonna be very, very quick tonight because we have also the food part and we have 4 wines. We normally taste 2 wines every week. And I don't like to repeat myself, but let me say this once again. The first week of the month, we host an event with a winemaker every first Wednesday of the month. Then for the second, we try 2 wines which are below $20. Then week 3, we do 2 wines below $30. The week 4, we do 2 wines sometimes below $50. Last week, we actually went above $50. And normally it's always a white and a red. And then for the 2 months between January and June, we're gonna have 2 months that have 5 weeks. For the 5th week, we will do another event like tonight with food. And next time, on May 31st, we're gonna do the event that pairs red wines with tomato. And Italy is top in the world to do that pairing. So I can't wait for that too. Now, let's talk about the estate very quickly, okay? Let me go here, 1 second. The estates, I need to say something. Thank you, Becky, and for sharing the stream. Actually, I want to invite our friends. If you have your phone handy or if you are on your computer and you can jump on Facebook and share what we're doing here, they will see me. They will surely laugh for my weird Italian accent. And, they can learn about what we do on Wednesday night here on streaming. Now, the first estate that we are going to talk about tonight is surely my biggest love when it comes to estates in Italy. The one that I'm talking about is Il Borro, which I proudly represent on the east coast of the United States too. And this estate is owned by Ferruccio Ferragamo family, and he is unbelievable. What you're seeing on the screen is a medieval village that has been completely refreshed, resurrected by the Ferruccio Ferragamo family. And what you see now on the other side is basically the new part, the big villa and, all the operational center of Il Borro. Il Borro is a very big estate, almost 3,000 acres. It's a medieval town in the middle, but there is so much more around it. And of course, this might be not the best time to invite you to fly to Italy to go to Il Borro. But I will definitely, together with Rachel, will try to set up a trip to Il Borro for next year, where, I would love to bring some of our best friends. And honestly, one thing that I always say to Americans is, please don't think about what you hear when you go to a travel agency and you try to book your trip to Italy. I can make it much easier than that. And much more reasonable than what, they propose you at the agencies. So that's about Il Borro. And as I said, unfortunately tonight I cannot spend so much time speaking of old estates. The second one, we're gonna try from this estate a Sauvignon Blanc, which is outstanding. The second estate is Albino Armani. This is a short movie by Giorgio Oppici that, will show you a little bit the environment in the Valdaggine, which is basically the northern east part of Italy, okay, the Trentino Alto Adige. And this area is surely one of the most important in the world for white wines. Albino Armani, the gentleman that you see on the screen right now, is considered the king of Pinot Grigio. Like his Pinot Grigio, but as well as like the entire range of product, it's absolutely incredible. And you will see tonight we try a Sauvignon Blanc, which I will compare to any Sauvignon Blanc that I tried from the best places in the world. And I've seen a review of Robert Parker from some vintages from, a few years back from Albino Armani, when Robert Parker said, this estate is gonna be added to my favorite list, my short list of the Sauvignon Blanc producers in the world. So I'm very excited to taste the Sauvignon Blanc with you. And there is so much more. We tell you more about these estates in the future. And I'm sorry that I have to cut the images, but otherwise, we're really gonna be late tonight. So let's go to the estate number 3, the Kellerey Caltern. Here we are talking of another magical place, very close to the Albino Armani estate. So we are talking of maybe, half an hour, 45 minutes drive between the two estates. Of course, also this estate produce some excellent white wines, and we picked this time a blend. Why did I do this? Because the first one that we will try tonight is a Chardonnay, and we will, experience the characteristics of this grape, the Chardonnay, most planted in the world. Then the second one is gonna be a Sauvignon Blanc, okay? Very famous, same thing, very famous all around the world. The third one is a blend of the two, plus a touch of Pinot Bianco, a white Pinot, which is like another grape that gives like this, instead of the Grigio, instead of the gray Pinot, this Pinot is the white one. So the two grapes that we try first together in a blend, so that we can also understand how the blend comes together, okay? And to close, we will try, let me go on the screen, Cantina La Selva. La Selva is an oasis in Tuscany, as well as Il Borro. So we have two Trentino Veneto area estates, two Tuscan estates tonight. And this estate is very famous because since 1980 they have been completely organic. They have 40 years of organic winemaking, behind their, in their background. So surely some stupend, I don't know, like I was using a mixed word between Italian and English. So let's try with something else. A marvelous estate. Look at the images of like what Mother Nature gives, like, to this place. And people, everything in these estates that we're presenting is really done by people. Machines are used just for those things where people, are really, it's impossible for people to do certain things. But in the process, in the agricultural process, everything, it's as good as it gets. All 4 estates produce organic wines. And another thing that I would like to mention is that maybe Rachel can correct me if I'm saying something wrong, but as I remember, on Righteous Portfolio, I would say that 90% of the wines are organic. right, Rachel? What would you say? Like, because apart from like the Prosecco, and we have some Chiantis, but I would say that like 9 out of 10 wines are organic on your portfolio.
Yeah, I would say many that we carry are organic. However, they're not certified organic by the American sort of stamp of approval. So whereas Italians have been using organic methods and they've been using this for a long time, often they won't even get this sort of stamps and seals of approvals from the Italian agencies. All of this is sort of, big money, big bucks, lots of paperwork, and lots of time. And, they're just not too sure if there's too much payoff to do all that. So many of the times the products are organic, but they don't have the stamp. So just wanted to throw that out there. And that's often with high quality Italian products, which Enzo will tell you that about any Italian product. it's all high quality. So there you go.
Yes, it's definitely Italians. Like, first of all, we should say that in Italy, farming is an art. It's almost like making paintings and things like that. People are very, very proud of what they do, and because of that, most of the the wineries, especially wineries that are in the business of producing good wines, they've been farming organically for decades. The problem is that each dollar that they add to the product translates into $5 on the American market. So just to give you a quick example, if you want to put like the DOC label on a bottle of wine in Italy, which certified there is a domination of controlled origin, that costs like more than $1. Which means that we're gonna pay $5 more just because we have that label on the wine. And many people prefer, especially after they established their reputation as great winemakers, to avoid the entire process, to make the wine, to offer the wine at a more reasonable price to the American market, which in total honesty, I think is a great idea. Because the more I learn, the less I believe in all the offices that certify things. Whatever it is, sustainable, organic, they give you a stamp, they take money from you, it's a business. So, I trust people that I know these people in person, I know how serious they are, I know how great they are, and their wines, definitely they talk, about their honesty and the magnificent way that they farm, So, now, let's go to the bar area. This is a new thing here at Righteous. We have this little area here that I set up in 4 years, which is my little bar area. And tonight, we're gonna use it basically to have the food on the counter so that I can describe a little bit what is going on tonight. So let's see. I'm not sure because here we go. We have this fantastic package that has been made by Chef Murray, which contains 4 fantastic bites of like really amazing perfumes. But these 4 things are, let's see. Let me tell you, because you obviously the people that are on the Zoom meeting with us, they all have the wines, they all have the food. So let's go through them and start to get familiar first with what we're trying tonight. We're gonna try this soft cheese first, which is the Délice de Bourgogne, which is a French cow's milk cheese from the Burgundy region of France. It was first created in 1975 by Jean Linchet at the Fromagerie Linchet, and it is a soft ripened triple cream cheese. The creamy texture results from the extra cream that is added during the cheese making process. The wine that we will try with this is the wine number 1, which is the Lamelle Chardonnay. Why I chose that wine? I tell you straight away. Because that Chardonnay is made very much in a French style. And the Burgundy cheese, which obviously is often consumed with the Chardonnay, is gonna be, I'm sure, a fantastic experience for all your palates. Okay, and then we have this other one, the one that looks a little more aged, and this one is the Saint-André. Is the world's most famous triple cream cheese and one of our customers' favorite, Enzo. And smooth, rich and buttery, this soft white French triple cream cheese is sublimely delicate. Saint-André cheese is made from cow's milk, as a content that is 75% butterfat, and is ideal to spread on crackers and toast. And we have both tonight. So let me do this. Let me put this on the plate. Let me move this on the side. Okay. And then we have a little salmon. Oh, I'm making a little mess here. We have some salmon that we gonna use together with this pearl bar butter, which is basically a caper, lemon zest, and parsley butter. And we're gonna spread it on the crostini, and we're gonna use the smoked salmon with it. And
face that camera because that camera's not working.
oh,
This one's not displayed. Yeah.
oh.
So talk to your audience there.
All right. So thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Sorry about that. Like this camera, I don't know, like too many cables in this room. So let me go here. The parsley lemon zest caper, we're gonna pair it with the smoked salmon using the crostini, the bread actually. And then I really wanted to share this with all of you. The butter that you see, like, you know, with the little dark dots, is actually black pepper, and it's a cacio and pepe butter. Cacio and pepe is, I believe, the most simple Italian recipe and one of the most delicious. It's a 2 ingredients recipe, and yeah, tonight we'll have the chance to get a little more familiar with it. So, the Lys de Bourgogne, the soft creamy cheese, will go with the Chardonnay. The second one, we will have the parsley butter, lemon zest, and caper with salmon and the Sauvignon Blanc. Then we will go to the Saint-André, and with the Saint-André, we will have the blend, the blend of Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and Pinot Bianco. And then we will close with the cacio e pepe that we will taste with the Vermentino from Tuscany. Okay? So, let's get to some wine. Let me go over here so that I can see you too. And let's change the screen. Here we go. So, I'm sorry that the camera didn't work. Like, you know, I'm definitely, like, you know, I'm trying to do things just complicated here. There is so much cables around that is, you know, really, really crazy. But we are having a lot of fun. Now, let's get to the wines, okay? Let's get to the wines. Let's prepare wine number 1. I have my little bottles, like all of you, so that I feel closer to all of you. Here we go. Here is the first wine, wine number 1, which is the Lamelle Chardonnay from Il Borro Estate, okay? Okay, let me do this so that we might have a little more fun. Let's switch everything off. Let me get a nice glass. Here we go. Now, the first thing I notice is that, of course, the wines have been kept in a cold space, a fridge. I like my white wines not at a fridge temperature. Fridge temperature for me is a little too cold for white wines. So I normally will grab the bottle and keep it out for half an hour before I drink it. which will make the wine around that 58 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the sweet spot for white wines. And so Lamelle Chardonnay. Let's go and see what we can tell you about this wine. First of all, I mean, you see the color straight away, and you will notice that this wine has the color factor is similar, and so are the characteristics. We are trying to pair things that have a bright acidity with creaminess, okay? That's where, the tasting experience becomes more interesting. So, il Borro Lamelle, okay? A straw yellow color, okay? He has the nose of, typical notes of the grape. Fantastic. But let's follow the line. So, here we go. Let me see if I can make this a little faster. Dun, dun, dun. La, la, la. Here we go. Okay. Pretty awesome. Typical aromas of the grape variety. It is definitely fresh with hints of yellow pulp fruit, like peach, for instance, is something that I sent. And, fruits and floral scents. I can sense like some small white flowers, for instance, like, in this wine. The palate. I always like to give it time. I say it every week. I think I will never stop saying this. But the wine evolves in your mouth with time, evolves in the glass with time, evolves on the plants, with time, evolves, in the barricks with time. Time and wine are two things that, they go arm in arm, hand in hand. Two really important factors that interact to each other. So let's go. Now, the palate, I believe that, the notes that I reported are perfect. The taste is pleasantly fresh. Yes, this nice acidity. And, Thank you, Melissa, for liking the stream. And, mineral notes which are obvious in this wine, because one thing that I want to share with you is that the soil where at Il Borro they grow these grapes is rich of limestone, and Il Borro itself in ancient time, it used to be a very large lake. So there is not water anymore there apart from the river Arno, which starts around there, and it goes through Florence and then Pisa, and it goes in the Mediterranean Sea. But there is not that lake anymore. What is left is this soil rich of limestone that gives this really bright minerality to the tasting notes, or this wine. And that's the reason why we have that shell on the label too, to remember where basically this type of characteristics come from. And then what else we can say? We can say that apart from pairing it with this fantastic Délice, I'm forgetting that Délice de Bourgogne, which is basically Rachel, what would you traduce Délice in English? I think I never used that word in English. Delicious. It's something that
sounds good. that sounds good. But I think this cheese is phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a triple cream, right? So it's a heavy cream milk. Isabella, you gotta give me a second, hon. You have to wait a second. Okay, go sit down. I'll help you in a minute. Sorry, guys. Belle, you have to go sit down a second. I'm working. Isabel.
All right, maybe I take over from Rachel because she has to move. There is Isabella that needs some assistance. And I have to say that since October that we started, this is the first time that Isabella interrupts Rachel at the point that Rachel cannot talk. I hope that everything is fine, but I will hear some, loud noises if it wasn't. So, okay, so we were talking of the Délice de Bourgogne, which basically means a delicious cheese from Burgundy. That's, the closest translation that I can make of this name. And as we said, Burgundy is where the Chardonnay grape comes from. The Chardonnay grape originally is from Dijon, which is the capital of the region of Burgundy in France. So I have a very good friend of mine that is from Dijon, and he told me many things about what they do at university there, and experimentation and many other things. But what we do tonight with this wine, we gonna pair it, as we said, with a creamy cheese, the Délice de Bourgogne. And I would suggest to spread this on crackers and just enjoy it. Now, it is really magical what it does when you're tasting the cream, the triple cream of this cheese, and the acidity of the wine just meets with it, and they melt together, because it's really what is missing from each of the two parts of this tasting. This is really rich and creamy, and this is really nice, bright and acidic. So this is what I really wanted to share with all of you, especially with our friends on our Zoom meeting, because this is one, let's say this was the first step that I took that made me fall in love with the whole food and wine industry, and then I stayed in it, and I'm still enjoying it after many years. The cream and the acidity of the Chardonnay, fantastic, okay? But as you know, and on the phone, on the meeting here, I can speak so much. I just gonna move to the second wine, because otherwise we won't have enough time to try 4 wines in an hour with the food. So, the second wine that we try tonight is gonna be the Sauvignon Blanc from Albino Armani, and that would be the little bottle number 2. Okay, I hope that you all have that wine already in your glass. And let me run this so that we can see the notes while we taste the wine. Here we go. There we go. Same thing. Can you notice the color of this wine too? It's slightly lighter in color than the first one, okay? And the reason why is because it's a different grape. So this grape has some different characteristics when it comes in the use. There are some green, greenish reflections. I mean, at least I have a very white light, in front of me, so I can see clearly many things. But if you want to do the same, put it against a white paper sheet, so that is gonna be much easier to see it. Straw yellow with light green used, that's exactly what it is, okay? Now, the nose of the Sauvignon Blanc is one of the most recognizable, I think, in the grapes world. And primary hints of pepper and sage. Do you agree with that? I do. Rachel, do you want to add something? Because when it comes to the nose, I always know that, like you have some personal opinion. But otherwise, I go ahead. You want to tell us something?
Really quickly. I'll be very quick on this one. So
Perfect.
the incredible aroma on this wine specifically, I feel, is passion fruit. So it has this real tropical vibe to it that also accompanies sort of the more grassier herbs. And this is why I fell in love with this wine. And when we tried it, I was like, we have to have it. So, okay, I'll stop talking now because we gotta move on.
Okay, but not so much. At the end, we need to try to passion fruit, for instance. Like I had the glass in my hand for 2 minutes now, and the temperature is warming up a little, and the passion fruit smell now is clear to me too. And what else we can say about the pairings? Warm appetizer, fish with sauces is fantastic with any asparagus-based dish. Sauvignon Blanc, risotto with asparagus, and that is there is the creaminess, there is the asparagus, there is the Sauvignon Blanc. Perfect pairing. That is a perfect pairing. What did we do for this tonight? We paired it with the salmon and cream cheese. Salmon and cream cheese. Salmon and cream cheese was where the idea came from because, it's the most famous bagel filling that I know of, the salmon and cream cheese. So we wanted the creaminess. We wanted some herbal flavors because of the characteristics of the wines. So Chef Marie, she added some lemon zest to it, which obviously does very, very well with the brightness and acidity of this wine, and parsley, and the salmon together. I would suggest to have this on a slice of bread instead of
the capers.
And the capers,
That's
yes.
another
Capers.
important element, capers.
Rachel and myself, we do not have salmon and cream cheese bagels without capers. It's a religion for us, especially because in London it's something that they do all the time, everywhere. And together with Rachel, we spent 5 years in London together. But before meeting her, I was there since 10 years already. So London and what they do there is, part of my life, big part of my life. And I'm so glad because I learned so much about many cultures in London, especially, Asian cultures a lot, because I don't know if you know, but 50% of the Londoners are originally from India. So it's a fantastic place, really a fantastic place. And we have the idea that, English food is not that great and all those things. Maybe in the past, or maybe, on specific branches of, the food spectrum. Like, for instance, I don't know, I am in love with all the how do you say, the pastries. The way they, they do their pastries and the baking, really, really amazing. But London is a different place. London is not England. London is London. It's a place where every day there are 180 languages spoken. And so are the cultures. There are 500,000 Italians, a million of Brazilians, there are 500,000 Russians, there are 2 million Chinese, there is 5 million Indians, there is 3 million English. It's everybody is there. And it was fantastic to, to get to know things that we don't really use in my country. And let's go ahead and let's enjoy this wine with the pairing tonight that came from my experience in London. The salmon with, the cream, the creaminess, and the parsley, and the lemon zest, and the capers. And I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. I will take a little break here and just cut a little piece because I was trying these pairings this afternoon and I remembered how amazing they are. So I'm sorry, but I cannot resist. I need to give it a bite too. And I tell you, salute! I hope that you are enjoying this. Fantastic. Really fantastic. Now, as we said, after this wine, actually, let's go. Yeah, we are on the pairing, all good. I give you the offers very quickly later. But yeah, now the passion fruit, Rachel, is basically like a 99% of, you know, the perfume of this wine. It's really, really incredible. And salute. Nice, 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 nice. Sauvignon Blanc is definitely not a grape that we use in the south of Italy a lot. And since I started drinking it, I realized how spring, summer this wine is. Like, this is really like a grape for, you know, this time of the year until, like, you know, fall comes again. Like Sauvignon Blanc, especially if it's a clean wine, like this one made by Albino Armani. I don't like things where are overpowered of, you know, whatever it is. I like delicate and precise type of flavors. And this wine delivers both, you know, my important factors to like the wine. Now, let's move on. I'm trying to be fast tonight. As you see, I don't do very well. So let's do wine number 3. Okay, wine number 3 tonight we said is the blend. Is the blend which is the K. The K is a blend of Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Pinot Bianco, white Pinot. Okay. Now we had the Chardonnay in the glass, then we had the Sauvignon Blanc. Now let's see what we can see. Thank you, Rachel. I'm gonna send a picture right now of the bottle so that everybody can see it. And yeah, it's this is really like one of the most amazing white wines. Pittsburgh is loving it already a lot. There are like a few important restaurants that are, you know, serving this wine by the glass. And this week only I went to see a couple of clients and I seen people enjoying it very much. And now the reason why I choose this wine tonight is because I wanted to, you know, do the comparison and try to understand what we can find of the characteristics of the single varietal wines that we tried, the Chardonnay and the Sauvignon Blanc, in the blend. Okay, so color wise, this one is really pale yellow, like, you know, it's a touch lighter in color than the second one, and definitely lighter in color than the first one. Okay, now let me see if I can send you the show like this. The nose, I mean, I can feel both the characteristics of the Chardonnay and the Sauvignon Blanc. But what? Now, Rachel, here, for instance, like the passion fruit is gone a little, right? What is left of of the Sauvignon. What do you think? The
I feel it's definitely muted, but for still noticeable. And when I do smell this, I do feel like it's more Sauv Blanc than Chard. What the exacts are, I'm not sure.
So
and I
this
get more
is
like sort of lemon as well in this, which could be the Chard.
Let's go back here. Yes, sorry, the whole program went crazy for a second. It was going back and forward from Rachel to my camera. I don't know if you could see that, but I was like, oh my God, this is gonna, just end here, end of the show. Bye-bye, see you next time. But no, fortunately, we're still online. And, okay, so, yes. You say that, the Sauvignon Blanc, it's like, it tastes like there is more Sauvignon Blanc. I tell you that, no, there is more Chardonnay. There is more Chardonnay, and the reason why it's, it doesn't seem like that, because the nose of the Sauvignon Blanc is definitely one of the most, one of the strongest in the world of wine. Sauvignon Blanc is the first grape that I was, that's easy to recognize. You smell the Sauvignon Blanc, you drink it for a few times, and they'll be like, okay, every time they give you a glass of Sauvignon, it'll be like, Sauvignon Blanc. It's that type of thing. The smell characteristic, the nose part of the profile, very, very strong. But the base of this wine is Chardonnay. And that's why I think that is really fantastically balanced, okay? And what did we do tonight? With this, we paired, let's see, we paired the Saint Andre. The Saint Andre. The Saint Andre is a fantastic one. It's a fantastic cheese, sorry. Triple cheese, the most famous in the world. It's a little drier than the first one that we tried. And the reason why is because the wine, the first one we tried was with the Chardonnay. That, straight notes, straight characteristic, acidity, brightness, like all those things. So with the creaminess of the first one was perfect. Now with this one, we also want some of those nose characteristics of the Sauvignon Blanc to add to the experience of the tasting. I'm not sure if like our friends like on the call, you already tried to taste this wine with the cheese, with the Santander. Did you do it? Anybody did it? Anybody? Let me change the view 1 second so that I can see you all. I see Cheryl approving, Rachel's approving. Let me see. Laura's approving, and Bill and Baker approving. Yes, it's a good pairing, right? Erin, what do you think? Good. Erin approves too. I'm glad. And it's nice to see you, Heather. And everybody else, of course. Also, all our friends that I cannot actually see on the screen. I'm so glad to see your name, and I hope to see you in person very soon. Now, let me go and get a bite of this cheese so that I can remember how fantastic this is together. Yeah. There is more. I don't know if this cheese, next time that we do something with this wine and this cheese, I will definitely have some asparagus handy, because I think that would really set it for, world champion. Like a little asparagus flavor to the entire experience, and I will be, that would be perfect. I hope you agree with me, saying that, you know, it is fresh and juicy with a smooth finish. That's what I feel about this wine. That's what my palate tells me. Really, really, really nice. But what else can we pair with this wine? Let's see. If we don't have that cheese handy, what else can we have? So, great with fish, of course, shellfish, of course, and vegetable dishes, cheese, and white meats. Why there is all this stuff on here? Because it's a blend. So there are, you know, the complexity is you know, bigger, and you can always look at this like a wine that suits most of the pairings that a white wine would go for, you know, like would go to. Like there is Chardonnay, there is Sauvignon Blanc, there is Pinot. So it's really a complete wine. And I believe that is the reason why people enjoy it so much. There is everything that is needed, it's in the glass, okay? Now, let's move on straight away because I see that we're gonna go for a couple minutes over time tonight. And let me go for the last wine, the fourth wine, which is the Vermentino di Toscana. Now, the Vermentino di Toscana is a very particular grape. Why I picked this grape? Because this is completely different than what we tried thus far. It's, you know, the Vermentino is his own entity. There are not the characteristics of the Chardonnay, not the Sauvignon Blanc, not the Pinot. It's Vermentino. And it's a very particular grape because it needs almost the same conditions as a red grape to reach full maturity. And because of that, it's also like it's a white wine that has feels complete, rich, round. It's really different. And most of the wines that go toward this taste profile have been, you know, aged in some wood too. This one doesn't. This is the pure Vermentino grape that does what it does. And yeah, let's see what we have in terms of tasting notes tonight for you. Also, this one has that color, like, you know, yellow, which is not so strong. And I would like you to notice that the reason why these wines, they have this bright acidity, like you can tell it by the color straight away. Like that's one of the things that you can, you know, understand by the color. If you see a wine that is, you know, straw yellow or pale yellow, expect acidity. If it's more on the gold side, expect roundness, butteredness, okay? So these wines have that in common. The color is definitely a factor that, you know, is common to all of them. This is the bottle, which is going to change with the new vintage that we already received. And yeah, like as I said, this is an estate that produces organic wines since 1980. 1980, 40 years. Wow, I'm younger than that. Like, you know, I wasn't born in 1980. So that is not true. Now, let's have straw yellow, but let's move to the nose, because the nose is where this wine really starts to feel different. Peach, yellow flower, and citrus fruit. I definitely can smell the peach at this far. From this distance, I can smell the peach already, okay? The yellow flowers too. I don't know, I remember when I was a kid and I used to spend hours like in the fields, because around my mom's house there was nothing. Eventually it became a city. But yeah, those yellow flowers, like, you know, that when you you grab one like and you pass it in your hands, like this is the smell that comes from it, like very, very, very pleasant. I really like it. Now on the palate, what can we say about this wine? That is the palate. That's where the Vermentino stands out. It's a full-bodied white wine. We have, that I know of, I would say that the Greco di Tufo is another grape that, would feel like this as full body. But those are the two grapes that I know that are like this, and, they are white wines. Again, this wine doesn't see any wood. So this is the grape itself that gives this rounder type of experience, and it is intense. I definitely find it much more intense than the first three wines that we tried, and it's persistent because that feeling like keeps going, like it's been a minute since like I had a sip and it's still evolving in my mouth. And then, the savory finish, which makes it really awesome for food. Like, really, like, that really gives the final touch to make it a fantastic table wine, okay? And because it's a full-bodied wine, we wanted to have something that, it's a little more, I cannot use the word complex, but it really is what I want to say. Because even if this recipe, the famous cacio and pepe, is made of two ingredients, pecorino romano and black pepper. Like when you try it, maybe because of the pecorino, maybe because of the black pepper, maybe because there is a genius that thought about this. I don't know. Maybe it was Leonardo da Vinci creating this recipe. I don't know. But it is definitely a fantastic experience. Like this pairing really reminds me of the beautiful Italy. And another thing that reminds me of is that Italians sometimes are amazing humans. And I want to mention one of them, looking at the cacio e pepe. And he's also one of the most famous chefs in the world. His name is Massimo Bottura. If you watch the Chef Table, the very first episode, season 1, episode 1, was dedicated to him, like Massimo Bottura. Massimo Bottura, when an earthquake happened in Italy a few years back in the center north area, the earthquake caused a lot of problems, especially to the Parmigiano producers, the Parmesan producers. So many wheels, those big wheels of Parmigiano that sometimes we see in the TV or at the best stores, they got smashed, destroyed, ruined, mostly. And we're talking like of a big loss for small family businesses, because that's what Italy is about. Like, we really run the country like with small businesses. The country is strong because of the small businesses. It's not, if we lose those small businesses in Italy, Italy is gone. So Massimo Bottura, who I think that is an amazing creature before, being one of the most talented chefs in the world, he came up with an idea to save those broken wheels. He basically promoted the cacio e pepe risotto made with the Parmesan, in the Parmesan wheel, in a way that raised the interest of all the chefs in the world that consequentially started to make this risotto in their restaurant and, purchasing all these wheels that were ruined so that these families actually didn't go bankruptcy. They survived, that they are still in business. So I don't know. I think there is nothing like, like in the world of food and wine, that was one of the best things that I heard of. And it's a cacio e pepe story. And I really wanted to remember that, and cheers to all the people that do, help other people. It's, it's what we here for. Like, they want us to believe that, like we have to be islands. I think that, like when two people get together, they become a national powerhouse. So, this is what happened here. And they saved families. Okay? Salute! Salute, salute!
I would just love to comment, and as well as hear everybody else's comments. Please feel free to comment. There's a chat section, and you can just post whatever you're feeling, or if you have any questions, or if you have any comments or anything. But this was one of my favorites. And then, as Enzo mentioned, we really thought long and hard about what kind of menu we wanted to do and what we wanted to introduce. So we had these ideas and we knew what we wanted to do. And I have to say, Chef Mary really brought it to life. And I'm super stoked about this cacio e pepe butter because I think it just paired, it was so on point. So when I taste these perfect pairings, really it kind of brings the elements of where it elevates the food that you're eating and it elevates the taste of the wine. So whether it's a great wine on its own and it's great food on its own, but when you have it together, this is going out of control. There we go. When you have it together, it just is elevated, right? So it brings it to the next level. So you've had the Vermentino and you've had it with the cacio and pepe, and the pepe is even more kind of peppery and spicy. And the Vermentino is a little more, even more bold. It just kind of strengthens the taste. And so this one for me was super amazing. I mean, I believe all of them were incredible. The cheeses were incredible. The pairings were incredible. But for me, this one was on point. So awesome. Becky, thank you so much for commenting that you love the pairings. We worked long and hard on this. So it's awesome to hear that you guys are enjoying this. And we can't wait to do so much more. So stay tuned.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful, comments. And I'm really happy with what we did tonight. I wish that this was an in-person event, because I could come by your side one by one and actually share our opinions to each other, which it's the ultimate tasting experience when you actually do it in person. But I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that we have this tool, at least, to keep in contact with some of the amazing people that that we know, and they are around us, supporting us, and making all of these so special. And
And also thank you to the new people. We've got, every week we have our faithful followers, which is big thank you and big ups. And we love that. And then every week we have some newbies that join the crowd. And thank you for tuning in, checking us out. And we really hope that you had a good time, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Perfect.
This is a small family biz. So, you're helping make our dreams come true and help us get over this hurdle that has been COVID. So we thank you.
And yes, we really do. Because I want to tell you just this, and then I leave you because it's 10 minutes past 8. But I kind of knew that we didn't have enough time in an hour to do 4 wines. I speak too much. I know that. I know my defects. But when I came back home one night from my restaurant job, and I looked at my wife, Rachel, and I told her, Rachel, I understand now what I want to do here, in Pennsylvania, in the United States. She's like, what? I was like, I want to distribute wines. She was like, what? I was like, it's necessary. Like, I used to be a restaurant manager in Sewickley, which is, around the corner from all of us. And I had all these people coming to the restaurant to show me wines. And I was just like tasting wines and looking at the prices. And I was like, how much money do you want to make, before making people happy? Because to me, it was incredible that, Italian wines would cost that much and they didn't deliver the wow effect. Because that's what it's about, Italian wines. Italian wines go from good to great. Okay? There is not such a thing as a bad Italian wine. But because they go from good to great, it doesn't mean that everything should cost the same. No, and they were just like, okay, this is a Chianti. The good Chianti is $50. This is $45 because it's not the known one, but it's still a Chianti. No, that is no. I couldn't stand that. So I was suffering. I was like, no, I want to offer to Pennsylvanians something better from my country. I know we can, Rachel. And after a few months, she was like, I had enough. What do you want me to do? I was like, teach me English a little better. No, it was a long journey. And it took us a year to prepare all the documentation to get licensed to import wines in the United States. And it's one of the 3 most difficult licenses to get. The first one is pharmaceuticals. The second is guns. The third one is alcohol. So, yeah, we managed to do that, and I hope that we will, keep delivering happiness in glasses to Pennsylvanians for long time. But if we will, it will be especially for your help during this time. Without you, I don't know if we will be here right now. Honestly, it's been a very difficult time, and thanks to you, we made it through it. Okay, so thank you from my huge Italian heart, and my 65 cousins and 36 uncle and aunties and a bunch of people around the country that if you need anything in my country, you got it. And that's it. You make me happy. I hope that you had fun too. And we'll see you. I want to say just this. The man, the very first man that believed in Rachel and myself in this business is with us next week. Tiziano Accordini. Tiziano Accordini was the one that picked me at the trade show, and he was like, who are you? I was like, I'm somebody that want to import some great products in the United States. And he was like, come here, what do you need? I need contacts. He was like, sit down, I give you my agenda. And he introduced me to some of the greatest people in this business in the United States that do business between Italy and the United States. And he gave us the chance to get products that other distributors in Pennsylvania are dreaming of. Okay, so thank you, you friends. Tiziano, who's gonna be with us next week.
Next week, yes.
Find
Please, the event on Eventbrite on Facebook, and you can purchase tickets there. And I think we're tasting 4 wines again.
Yes.
So, and we meet Tiziano as well, and it's going to be an incredible next week. And Enzo just mentioned the next tasting, the food pairing. That's going to be in May, correct? May
Here we go.
31st, we
Yeah.
are doing a food pairing, the wines that go with tomato-based items. And that's going to be on Wednesday, May 31st. And that's going to be a good one too. So we've chosen 4 reds for that. So check us out on Facebook at Righteous Imports, as well as Eventbrite. And you can purchase tickets there. Or you can always email us. I'm Rach at righteousimports.com. He's Enzo at righteousimports.com. Call us, message us. We're around. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you next week. Okay? Thank you. Good night. And mwah! Un bacio. Mwah! Mwah! Baci a tutti. Buonanotte. Good night. Good night and thank you.